Hey, truth seekers, welcome back. Zach here. It's September 23rd, 2016. There's a mall shooting in Washington State, about an hour north of Seattle, about a half hour north of where I am right now. What's really interesting is I live very close to the FEMA 10 region base. It is the FEMA base for Oregon, Washington, Idaho, and Alaska. And about the same time this shooting was being announced in the media, this massive foghorn type thing was playing out of there that I've never heard all the years I've lived here. At the same time this shooting, that foghorn playing. And that FEMA base, it used to be an old Nike missile base. That's what they called them during the Cold War. Very interesting that these things happening at the same time. I've lived up here since 2012. I have never heard that horn until tonight. And what they've done with this fake shooting drill hoax is they've shut down the Interstate 5, the freeway that runs through western United States, Washington, Oregon, California, connecting Mexico to Canada. So, major inconvenience to people on the road on a Friday night, which is busy up here. All for a hoax, for a drill. And even in CNN's reporting tonight, the witness, the first person they write about as they broke the story, which I'll show you, they wrote that the person thought it was a drill. They're telling us the truth right to our faces. So I will show you that this is definitively a hoax, a drill being reported as ongoing gun control propaganda, if you will. Also propaganda to sell more guns and ammo. The more of these they do, the more guns and ammo they sell. Let's watch the news coverage. Sergeant Mark Francis. I'll show you how Margic Francis is an agent of deceit selling us out. I'll try to give Mark Francis a phone call tomorrow. These are the people selling us out. This is the scum of the earth right here. Presenting a drill as real information. And True Seeker, you should know, the last time there was a big shooting hoax up here in my backyard and I exposed it, the police burglarized my home to send a message. Plus more. Watch my video, Consequences of Being a Truth Speaker. Anyway, let's watch this and then we'll decode what a mockery this is of us all. Nobody was shot. Nobody's dead. This is 100% propaganda.
This all happened just before 7 o'clock tonight. Last description on the shooter was that he was leaving from the mall, heading west towards I-5. He was described as a Hispanic male wearing gray, was the description given to us. As far as weapon used or motive, that's what we're still trying to figure out right now.
Inside the mall, there were hundreds of people that were hiding. What's the situation with people in the mall? Where are they now?
So originally our hope was to get EMS in there. Now we've got to clear the entire building right now before we can send EMS in. So that's where we're at now, trying to clear this entire mall.
We know that there were mall sweeps that happened, especially when there were people inside hiding, sheltering in place. What's the process from here on out?
So secure the building, investigate, and at the same time trying to track down the shooter or shooters.
There's still a lot of activity around here, a lot of police agencies. How are we going to track down that shooter who seemed to have fled on foot?
Hopefully we're getting phone calls, we're getting good tips, and we've got our officers going back and forth, tracking down all these leads.
We hear choppers above us. Who's all out looking for this suspect?
I've seen federal, I've seen state, I've seen tribal, I've seen county and city, so absolutely everyone you can think of.
For people watching at home that fear this could happen.
Federal, state, tribal. Same groups involved in the shooting in Marysville, Washington 2 years ago. About the exact same region. Marysville, Washington's right next to this mall.
To them, this could be in their neighborhood. This is a small town mall. What's your message to them?
We live in pretty precarious times. Just stay aware, stay cognizant of your surroundings. And
these people are sick.
If something like this happens to you, play the win game. Unfortunately, we live in a society where you got to think about this thing possibly happening to you. And my message is to be a fighter.
His message is to be a liar, a deceiver. Do whatever you got to do for the paycheck. So here they are reporting 4 dead. This is a common death total that they report in these false flag shootings, and there's a very specific reason why. I literally just got off the phone doing a radio interview tonight with Truth Frequency Radio, broadcasting broadcasting in Denver. And I taught that audience, because I'd never been on there before, about gematria and the significance of the number 74. I literally just got off the phone talking about using gematria to decode the propaganda and to look for the number 74. It's so relevant. And as soon as I got off the phone, the headlines were this: 4 dead in Washington in my own backyard. 4 dead has this gematria coding of 74, just like Cascade Mall, where the shooting happened. 74 is the number of the Freemasons. It's Freemasons that run this nation, run our media, run police. You know, the town I live in, not far from here, the police station right across the street from the Masonic Lodge, the name of the town I live in, has a gematria of 74 as well. 4 dead, Cascade Mall, Masonic, Jewish. This is who's doing it to us. The Freemasons believe in order out of chaos, so they stage these scenes of chaos that are really just drills presented as tragedies, and then they try to push agenda out of it. Legislation, ammunition and gun sales, needless fear. Watch, the people tomorrow up in that town, they're all going to be a little spooked out who don't realize the news is propaganda. They might stay home. They might not take their kid to the park. This is how they do it, community to community. Always by the same numbers. Just literally got off a phone call doing an interview talking about 74. Anybody who listened to that and applied it tonight, they already see. They didn't even have to wait 15 minutes. Cascade Mall also has gematria of 38 in Pythagorean gematria with the S exception. The word mall alone's 38, just like death. We just had a mall shooting hoax in Minnesota, or was it a stabbing? I guess a mall stabbing hoax. It's all the same. Blamed on ISIS, the Islamic boogeyman. Here's what you need to know about Washington State. It's the 42nd state in order of statehood, named after George Washington, the Master Mason, the 33rd degree. This is the symbol for the Freemasons. Freemason lodges all over this nation, the founders of this nation, Freemasons, pictures of George Washington wearing this emblem. Washington State is the 42nd state. Big G represents 42. The word Freemason equals 42. The Freemasons are builders, building 42, architect 42. They say the victors write the history book. The word victor equals 33. The Freemasons are fixated on 33. Victor 33. The word history is 42 like Freemason. Knowledge is 42. The Freemasons pride themselves on being the keepers of knowledge. Economics, World War, math, war, sub, UFO. Did you know that the first documented UFO sighting was Washington State? Washington State. UFO 42, a 42 in Washington State. Big G 42. I'm not saying there's no UFOs, but I'm saying the phenomenon of UFOs, when it's reported about in the mainstream, it's always by the numbers. See the video I put out earlier this year on UFOs? What was crazy is right after I put out that video, there was a big UFO story in the media. I almost feel like the media is making fun of me. Here's Washington, the 42nd state, established November 11th, 1889. Oregon's the 33rd state. OR, the abbreviation, 15 plus 18, 33. Oregon's the only state out of the 50 that sums to 74. 33 and 74, a Masonic pairing. Today's news, it comes on a date with 48 numerology. Propaganda equals 48. Hoax equals 48. That's exactly what this is. I bet you anything they catch the suspect tomorrow on the date with 42 numerology. This will be the big news story tomorrow. More, just more false flag shooting crap. It's also a date with 49 numerology. This shooting comes exactly 49 days before Washington State's birthday. Washington equals 49. 49 is the number of Revelation, the book of prophecy, where the original capital, Philadelphia, gets its name from. Philadelphia from Revelation, the book of prophecy. George Washington's buried in Alexandria, VA. That equals 49. He died at age 67. Freemasonry equals 67. Blood sacrifice. Notice that Washington was established November 11th. The year 1889. The number 89 is the 11th Fibonacci number, established 1111 in the year 89. 11 times 11 is 121. You know, Revelation 121 the big way, 49 the small way like Washington. The San Francisco 49ers play on the 121st meridian. The abbreviation for gold is AU. A's 1, U's 21, 121. The 49ers named after the gold rush. In Revelation, it says the false Jews will rule in the end times. The false Jews, the Zionist Jews who run our media, who practice gematria, who code these numbers, who worship gold, AU 121, Revelation. That's a revelation, putting all this together. So here's the map. Here's Seattle down here. Everett's the military port city. And then a ways up here is where Marysville is. And then this little outlet mall, Burlington Outlet Mall. So Burlington alone has this gematria 51. This is the name of the place where the mall was shot. Cascade Mall in Burlington. Burlington equals 51 like conspiracy, like federal. This is a federal agenda, what's going on. As they said, feds were out there, police, tribes. Freemason has gematria 42, and with the S exception, 51. One more Freemason tribute. The police officer who we saw speaking, his name's Mark Francis. Mark Francis in gematria sums to 113, like mainstream, like dishonest. The number coded all over the propaganda agents all throughout history and again in these shootings. 4 killed in mall shooting has gematria of 95, 104, 113, like mainstream, dishonest Mark Francis. 221. With regards to 95, this shooting has shut down I-5. I is the 9th letter, 95, I-5. 95 coded in the headline. This is what they continue to do throughout the nation. Make up stories and inconvenience people. This is so ridiculous. We pay for this. We pay for this. We pay for these people's salaries. You want to get mad at me for telling you the truth? You are a fool. So here's the updated story. I love how they updated it 12/21. 12 plus 21, 33. False flag, 33. That number of Freemason obsession. They said this happened in a Macy's. Macy's is the big corporate chain. In the last decade, what's happened in every mall in the Pacific Northwest region is there used to be more local, big department stores. Meyer and Frank was one of the big ones up here. Macy's has come and bought all those stores. Now everything's just Macy's everywhere. Macy's is one of these huge corporate monsters that's part of this gang that rules over us. And notice the shooting comes in a Macy's. Macy alone is a 42 word. With the S, it sums to 61, the number for God in Jewish gematria, the number for news. For most people in this world, their real God is the news. They worship and believe everything that comes out of it. They think if it's on the TV and the news, it's the Holy Grail. This one coming out of the Macy's. They said that they took all the victims to a church. Sure, it was a very Masonic church. There's a lot of them. Church 61, Miracle 61. Charleston church shooting hoax. The Civil War began in 1861 in Charleston. The reporting here, the person they interviewed, she said at first she thought it was a drill. Yeah, it was a drill. Her name has the same gematria as chaos. The Freemasons again believe in order out of chaos. 33, the number of the Freemasons, masonry, secrecy, police, order, all 33. Should have put the word federal up there. The word federal is 33. There's feds out there. So don't be deceived, truth seeker. It's a hoax. Until next time.